Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to isolate an aspect of the race that we might look back on later as having been a path to finding the winner. Well, Saturday racing this week, important to note, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 7 and our winning factor up in class. Now this is the feature event for the day, the Class 1 Panasonic Cup. A race which has had its different phases like many of the Hong Kong handicap features, but is generally a good quality event and often won by an emerging horse. We have last year's winner, Buddy's back again, but I think he'll struggle this time around. And the best chances to me look the very honest Duke Y, talented Lucky Express who returns from his summer break, Not Usual Talent, an underrated horse, and the Boom 4-year-old Fantastic Treasure. And it's the David Hayes trained Fantastic Treasure where I want to concentrate. Now he did lose his unbeaten record at his 6th start first up for this season, but he certainly didn't lose any admirers. So let's take a look at that race. And this is race 103. He's in light blue with a red quartered cap. He draws out wide and Chad Schofield elected to ride him a little bit negatively early, looking to reverse park into a position midfield. Now ultimately he gets in, maybe a pair further back than he wanted, but the pace is certainly quite good through the middle section. You see Schofield, he takes a lot of care here to ensure he gets clear running and gets to the outside, but does lose a little bit of ground doing that before he launches the horse, and he all but gathers up the leaders over the final 100 metres. Not beaten far, but beaten for the first time. Now the two who beat him home on that occasion both got kinder runs than Fantastic Treasure. They also received weight off him, and they've since fought out another race last week. So the form looks pretty good there in Class 2. But this is Class 1, and Fantastic Treasure rising to Class 1 for the first time. And I know there are certainly plenty of punters who query the idea of backing a horse in a higher grade when he hasn't won in the grade below. And I know in some jurisdictions around the world there are handicapping policies that horses cannot be handicapped into the next class without winning in the lesser grade. So it's certainly a problem to look at, and I thought we'd take a look at the figures for that as far as Hong Kong's concerned. And regulars will know that I do prefer backing horses rising in grade to those dropping in grade. It may seem counterintuitive, but it works, even if they didn't win in the lead up. Now here you see, since September 2016, a comparison of last start non-winning, perhaps even minor placed horses like Fantastic Treasure, and how they performed next start going up in class or compared to just staying in the same class. And in the column on the right-hand side of these two tables, you see how they compared to market expectations. And the market definitely undersold the ones rising in class, who won more often than expected, while the ones staying in the same class won 40 races fewer than expected. So Fantastic Treasure has that working for him as he goes up in grade on Saturday. And I think he also has working for him a much better draw. He goes up to 1,400 metres, more suitable distance. And from the inside draw, I think he'll be able to lay up a little bit closer. And he's got quite a few horses here, potential leaders, that he'll have to run at over the final stages. So that all helps him out. So the tip in race 7, Fantastic Treasure. His winning factor, up in class. I know there will be those who say you shouldn't be backing a horse in Class 1 who didn't win in Class 2, but the figures support that he has an edge, and he's the one that I'm going to figure to take out the feature on Saturday. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9, and our winning factor here is the map. Now this is a very good quality Class 3 here, and we could have called our winning factor the 4-year-olds because they dominate the race numerically and also in terms of quality, with the strongest winning chances all from that age group. Unbeaten Packing Victory with the top weight, the Golden Scenery who's racing well, War Weapon returns for his new campaign, and Gallant Express from the John Size Yard down in the handicap. And before I started doing some work on this race, I was certainly ready and prepared to find something to beat Packing Victory, although he is unbeaten. This looked to be his Waterloo top weight in a decent standard of race, and coming off what was, well, a fairly unimpressive victory to the naked eye when he started 1.4 last time out. And we're going to have a look at that now. We're going to explain why this was a better win than perhaps it looked. This is race 62 back in September in the blue and white colours with the red cap, and this is really a masterful ride from Zac Purton. This day his danger was to get behind horses and cluttered up, so he spent the race giving his horse no peace, making sure that didn't happen. Pace isn't brutal, but it isn't soft either, and he uses Packing Victory early to try to lead, and when he couldn't, he keeps pushing the horse to get to the outside of the long odds leader and into the clear. Unlike his main danger here, I'm a Single Man, who did get stuck in traffic. It wasn't the prettiest ride by Purton, but it was a smart one, and it contributed to what was a desperately close finish in the end, with a number of horses threatening to beat him, but the ride also won the race. Now his major rival on Saturday looks to be the Golden Scenery, and here we see him in race 120. He's in red and dark blue here, and he just doesn't have the same tactical capabilities. He takes a position in midfield, maybe even a touch worse than that, while another rival on Saturday, Gallant Express in purple colours, is even further behind him. And the race gets dictated to them as a result. As you see on the heat map, the leader has a comfortable time of it early, then drops the speed mid-race, then kicks away again in the stretch. And the Golden Scenery and Gallant Express, well, we see them charging late down the outside, and they do a good job, but they are just left with too much ground to make up. And that's why our map on Saturday is so critical. The way they line up here, Purton will once again likely look to use his horse early, get the lead from his inside gate and control the race, and perhaps this time without as much to do to get to the front and get that control. Of his serious rivals, well, War Weapon, he gets a nice run. He'll probably be directly behind Purton, but he is lacking in race fitness, while his major race fit rivals, the Golden Scenery and especially Gallant Express from the outside, look like hostages to the tempo again set by Purton this time, and giving away a big start. They might just have too much to do this time as well. So the tip in race 9, Packing Victory. His winning factor, the map. He has a number of talented rivals here, but he also has the tools he needs and the jockey who can use them to dictate the race to those rivals and make it 4 wins on end. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Enjoy your racing Saturday. We'll see you next time.